What up, Facebook? I had some mild connection issues with the last video. But that's all right. I hate getting connection issues, but that's all right. Me and my buddy Jeremy Rogers are about to take off on our bikes to go hang out with some friends. So, well, I'll drink whatever they're offering. You know, I'm not too picky. My buddy Alex Campbell is hanging out with some friends of his, and he called me over. He's like, "Hey, man, come drink with me." I'm like, "Okay, nah, you ain't gotta tell me twice." Well, not a whole lot. Just chilling out on Facebook Live for a bit before I go to the party. Oh, thanks, Hannah. I love all my fans, too. You don't even know. Like, the support from everybody over the years. It's nice. I don't say it enough, but it's nice. And here's the thing. If I'm too drunk to ride my bike, then I'm not going to ride it. But I can handle my liquor. I've ridden all over Casper a little bit drunk on my bike and did just fine. My speech might have been slurred, but that was the only thing. I rode a straight line. I was coherent. I paid attention. It defied all logic is what it does. But I would not encourage drinking and driving, whether it be on a bike or a car. Fuck that shit. If you're too drunk to drive, then don't do it. Chill out for a little bit, give yourself time to sober up, and then take your plunge. Yes, you can get a DUI on a bike. If a cop sees you swerving all over the sidewalk and it's not windy as fuck outside, and they'll be like, "So, what's your deal here?" You know. And I haven't gotten a DUI on my bike, thankfully enough, because I'm responsible. Well, responsible enough to a degree where I know if I'm too drunk. If I'm staggering just a little bit after drinking, then I want to sit back down, sober up, and then ride. Because usually if you're staggering when you're drunk, that's usually a good indicator that you're too drunk to drive. I mean, you shouldn't drive buzzed anyway, but that's beside the point. Actually, no. We have some pretty good cops here in Casper. I will say that. Some of the stories I've heard where they could have very easily shot first and had every right to, they didn't. This one dude had a bunch of meth on him and had his gun pointed at the cops, and they could have easily shot him. But they gave him 3 fucking warnings before they shot him. So, yeah. Oh, and the cops know me because of my videos. No, they don't give you a DUI for walking drunk. They'll just give you a drunk in public charge. If they see you're staggering, you know. Hey, bro. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, what's up?
Can you wait out front for a second? I'll be there short. Yeah, just wait out front for a second, bro. I'll be there shortly. I'm gonna finish up my live stream. But yeah, I'll have to take off here in a second, YouTube, or in Facebook, I mean. I didn't get anything in the mail other than a pipesandcigars.com magazine, which is always fun. Get the best deals on, you know. I just started this live stream, though. I had to redo it because the other one had connection issues, but I'll chit-chat with you for a little bit longer, and then not going to be too much longer. End the live stream, take a shit, get all my shit together, and get my bike and head out the fucking door. Let's party it up, Facebook. That's what I'm fucking saying. Like, I haven't hung out with Alex Campbell in a couple of days, so that'll be nice. Make some new friends, you know. But I'm not going to keep Jeremy waiting too much longer. Just going to smoke some tobacco real quick and chit-chat with y'all for a bit longer. I'm sure a lot of you would love to send me cool shit, but here's the thing. I don't have a P.O. box set up, so I can't just give out my address. So I'm not worried about my haters and what have you, but the only reason I don't give out my address is because of my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried about myself personally, but you know, just for the safety of my neighbors who live in the same building as I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't give out my address. I could give two shits less about my safety, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's just pipe tobacco too, so it's, you know, I don't smoke weed unless I'm in Colorado with some friends. And that rarely happens. That I rarely get to smoke weed, but when I do, I thoroughly enjoy it. It's great for my Asperger's and my cataracts, man. And if they could just legalize weed out here, Wyoming would make some serious money. It'd open up a shit ton of jobs because we got people in the oil field who are losing their jobs because the oil's drying up. And when the oil starts drying up, what's the next resource to go? And you sincerely have to ask yourself, how many fucking clean resources are they going to run out of before they're like, oh, maybe we should consider cannabis and hemp because, you know, people are losing their jobs and blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the thing. I have to agree with you on that, Simon. Simon says it'll be legal soon. It's too much money for them not to. Yeah, and that's the thing that gets me is Wyoming is governed by Republican lawmakers, and Republicans love money. You see how much money that marijuana is making Colorado? They'd be face palming themselves going, why don't we legalize it sooner? If I have kids and they're smoking pot, I'd much rather my kids smoke pot from a dispensary than off a street because you don't know what the fuck's in that street shit. You know, some dealers are pretty cool for the most part, but you got some of those assholes that like to lace their weed with stronger shit. So your kid's buying a bag of weed from someone that has coke in it, and it's like, that's not cool. You know, like, are you buying some weed and the dealer fucking laces it with fucking meth or some shit? So, and that's the unfortunate part about marijuana being illegal, is that if you don't know your dealer, for all you fucking know, they could be lacing it with some shit to make it stronger and more addicting so you come back to it every time. You know what I'm saying? And that's bullshit. I mean, look, kids are going to smoke pot and party and do stuff like that whether parents want them to or not. It's just a fact of life. Peer pressure wins almost 95% of the time. And if your kid's smoking pot, I think a lot of parents would agree with me on this. If your kid's smoking pot that was bought at a dispensary where you know it's not laced and it's not going to fuck them up, in a bad way at least, it might fuck them up off some good weed, but it ain't going to fuck them up off some bad shit they don't need. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of parents would feel me on that 100%. They're like, well, I don't like the idea of my kid getting all potted up on the weekend with his friends, but I suppose if he's going to do it with his friends, I'd rather they get weed from the dispensary. At least I know it ain't laced. Yeah, they're lacing it with more expensive, harder drugs. And when they do that, you know what I'm saying? So I know my sources before I do those kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? Because you can just go to Colorado and for a couple of days with some friends and legally do it for a couple of days and then drive back with nothing. And, you know, technically you're taking a vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids are going to be having sex with each other. Kids are going to be drinking and smoking tobacco and doing all the things that parents don't want them to do. It's just how kids are when they get to that certain age, you know? And when kids get to that age, when they're doing stuff like that, you need to be honest with your children. Do not fucking lie to them, okay? You have to accept the fact that if your kid is a social butterfly, you know, then they're going to be having sex. It's just a part of life. Hormones are racing, they're at a party, and, you know, it happens. But instead of telling your kids abstinence only, talk to your kids about safe sex and condoms and the right time and that sort of thing. Because kids are just like parents. They know when you're lying to them. Parents know when you're lying to them, and kids know when parents are lying to them. So it doesn't do any good. You know what I'm saying? And when kids know that you're lying to them, they feel like, okay, I can't trust them on anything. So then they're not going to come to you about more serious shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your kid's afraid to come to you about smoking some weed, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not a parent. I'm just saying, but if your kid's afraid to come to you with things like peer pressure and sex and trying the reefer and stuff like that, then what else are they going to be afraid to come to you? When it's something more serious, of course they're going to, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to prevent teen pregnancy, you need to realize that, okay, you know what? You were a teenager once, so you know exactly how it feels to be amped up on hormones. Now, if I would have had more social luck with the ladies back then, I'm pretty sure I would have been getting laid. I don't deny that. I'm a good-looking dude. But circumstances change. It's usually, you know what's funny too, is the people who get picked on in high school, they grow up to be successful. I'm just saying, look at the, you know, I get picked on in school and I grow up to be a famous YouTuber. Like, that's how life works, you know? So I'm just saying, like, if you're getting bullied in school, who gives a shit? Because when you're out of school, it's the bigger picture, man. Honestly, I don't think Jeremy will mind waiting for me for too much longer because, you know, yeah. But I'm not going to be ridiculously long here on Facebook. I might take a couple more hits of tobacco, chill out, read some of your questions, and would you smoke laced weed if you knew it was laced ahead of time? That's a good question, Kevin Williams. That depends on what it's laced with. Like if it was laced with like some salvia or some shit, and it made me see pretty colors while I was smoking it, I'd be cool with it. You know, it's salvia is a natural drug. But if I knew it was laced with like crystal meth or some shit like that, I'd be like, fuck off. If I wanted to get a jittery buzz, I'd drink a Monster. What up, Clayton? I'm about to head to a party here in a second. Getting amped up to ride my bike a long-ass distance. It was kind of on the spot, too, so, eh. There are some states in the United States of America that practice a safe sex education for their teens and their young adults, and the reason why that these states have a low teen pregnancy rate is because they're like, look, you know, and if I would have been more socially accepted with the ladies like I am now, you know what I'm saying? Because I literally, when I went to school growing up, both high schools, one in North Dakota and the other one here in Casper. I went to high school. For most of my high school, I went to a high school in North Dakota. And then my senior year, I went to Natrona County High School and graduated 2010. And both schools I went to, whenever they talked about sex, they preached safe sex. Which is a good thing, because, like, you're trying to, you know, because the thought of, I get it, like, well, for most adults, the thought of their children having sex grosses them out, and at the same time, they're thinking, whoa, hey, you're growing up too fast, you know what I'm saying? Slow down a minute, you know? So they try to bullshit themselves into thinking that, hey, if I lie to my kid and say, abstinence only, just say no, you know, come on. If some dude has been friends with this chick since 4th grade and all of a sudden they're both in high school together and they both notice each other's changes and one thing leads to another, man, that's all I'm going to say. So there are times like that, you know, and yeah. Now, what is the temperature going to be like for the remainder of the evening? Let me get the information I need. So, let's see. The coldest it'll get is 36 degrees. So I guess it wouldn't hurt to bring my extra layer right now, because then if I'm riding home later at night, I'm not freezing my Asperger's off. But it's not going to be cold enough to where I'm going to need gloves and a hat at least, so that'll be nice. Nope, not going to a bonfire. I had some connection issues with my last Facebook video, so I'm just giving some quick basic details. Me and my buddy Jeremy are going to ride over to a buddy's house, or soon-to-be buddy, I'm assuming, because my buddy Alex Campbell invited me to drink with him for a bit. And so I'm going to wrap this up here. You know, when I smoke my tobacco in here, I keep the window wide open so the smell doesn't fog out my apartment. Even in the colder months, I'm sitting here shivering and shaking, but I'm not going to let the smell of tobacco fog out my apartment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm smoking out of a pipe. The ashes aren't going to get everywhere like a cigarette would. But if I do smoke cigarettes in here, I have this giant-ass ashtray. one of the bowls I made in Miss Callahan's art class back in the day. Yeah, I was gonna buy ashtrays at Walmart, and then I'm digging through my stuff that I packed up from my room, and as I'm unboxing it, I'm like, wait a minute. I look at this thing and I'm like, it's got this nub in the middle for sitting the pipe down like that. Like, why not just use this instead? It holds more cigarette butts in, and I can hold my pipes in here. Like, legitly, here's the other one I made. And this fucker holds incense right in the middle. They stick straight up. Yeah. Although in school, it's a clay bowl, right? But I think using those as ashtrays is a bit more sentimental because I made that in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of cool. Now, the fan's not on, but the window's wide open, and it just sucks all my tobacco smoke out the window. Like, you can't even smell it in here. There's, like, no smell of tobacco in here whatsoever. So, yeah, Rasta Man will be waiting outside. I gotta hurry up. I don't want to be too long. But I don't think he minds getting out of the house anyways, and it's such a nice day outside with spring practically at our feet. Although if every person who subscribed to me on YouTube bought a pillow, I'd have enough money to get a car and get my driver's license. And then when I got more famous on YouTube, I could do meet and greets. Driving up into my Studebaker, like, what's up? What's good? Yeah. Now, because of his epilepsy, he has a hard time with directions, and he has GPS on his phone now that he got figured out. So if it gets to be too late at the place we're going to, he'll find his way home. I'm not worried about that. Still kicking myself for not flirting with that chick that I seen standing in line at Loaf and Jug. Damn, she was pretty. Ooh. Prettiest pair of green eyes you ever did see. Holy shit. That should have been my cue to say something witty like, oh, you like guitar players? I'd rock your world. Well, I did 20 push-ups the other day, and I've been consuming nothing but beef. See, I hardly have to work out to get big arms. I love it. Yeah, buddy. Now, lately, if a chick rejects me, my attitude is, your loss, not mine. I get bigger shit to do. Guitar to play, wands to make, YouTube videos to make, more fame to get on YouTube. So you want to reject me, that's your loss, not mine. Yeah. If you're trying to find your girlfriend's G-spot in her vagina, you feel around a bit, you feel that spot that feels like a warm walnut shell. Tickle that shit. Just gave y'all some solid advice right there. I never heard the last 7 girls I've had sex with complain. Oh. You know what's funny, Facebook, is when you get a girlfriend that's never had her pussy eaten out, and then she has it eaten up by me for the first time, and it just blows her mind. Yeah, buddy. God damn it, I hate being out of tobacco. This shit sucks. This shit sucks duck farts. Oh, look, there's a button in my tray. Squeeze that in there real quick. Right on top. It used to be because I was creepy and autistic, but then now these days, most women don't approach me because I'm this buffed-ass, gorgeous YouTube celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. And then you throw in the fact that I can sing and play guitar really good. You know, it's kind of like when if I'm at a bar and I see a chick and I'm like, I want to go talk to that chick. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, nah, she's too pretty. I can't talk to her. So I get it. I understand how some of these chicks feel when they don't approach me. It's, you know. To answer your question, Kevin, no, not really. I mean, if I had a hot-ass goth chick for a girlfriend and she was into some, like, bondage type shit and, you know, tying me up and, yeah, I'm just going to stop right there. Candle wax on my back. I'm just going to stop right there. Horsetail whips and riding crops. I'm just going to stop right there. I'm just saying, if I had a smoking hot goth girlfriend and she wanted to tie me up and fuck my brains out, I'd be all right with it. I'd be all right with it. Also, if you've not tried KY His and Hers, you're missing out. That's good shit. You can get it at Walmart or Walgreens. It's the pink and the blue shit. Oh, yeah. You want to spice up your lovemaking with your woman, you can't go wrong with that shit. You cannot go wrong with that shit. You're about to raw dog your girlfriend's sweet pussy, you put on some of that blue stuff for your dick, and you put the pink stuff on her vagina, and fool around, get some foreplay going, you know, and then when they combine, it's like... Oh, hell yeah, Kevin Williams, if you got a girlfriend or you're about to fuck a chick with some of that shit, you can't go wrong with that. KY His and Hers. See, I could do something like that if I got famous enough. I'd create a lube that would be edible, but it comes in a powder and it's activated through liquid. And when it activates, it stimulates, it would mimic the feeling of ecstasy and cocaine while having sex. It mimic those drugs without actually being in your system. So if you thought the KY His and Hers stuff was good, the KY His and Hers would be even better. Like, if you could find a way to mimic those feelings without actually, you know, get like some CBD oil going up on that motherfucker and like a shit ton of THC. Oh, yeah. So, like, applying it would get you ripped as fuck. You'd be feeling good. And it would be designed to bring out your body's natural hormones. So if you were struggling in bed to get it going, this would be like taking the best of every aphrodisiac available. Like taking the pseudoscience of human attraction and condensing it into an edible sex lube that's activated when you put like water or spit on that powder and it turns to lubrication. Yeah. I didn't invent that shit. I'd be a rich motherfucker There'd be old couples coming in and calling me everywhere, sending me letters saying, I cannot tell you how much me and my wife really appreciate this here. Have like a pheromone cologne for the dudes to wear when they're using that stuff, and like a pheromone perfume for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Make it a nice, extravagant, fancy kit. You know what I'm saying? Like the Hiss kit could come with the cologne for the dudes and some of that powder, and the Hers kit comes with the pheromone perfume and some of that powder. You sell them separately, charge like $4.20 a fucking kit. They'd be like, there's no way it does all these awesome things for such a low price. You're fucking insane. I'm like, well, then try it. If it's so cheap, then what do you got to lose? Couples start trying it. Boom. If I'm not getting any, well, at least I'm making someone else's lives better, and that's the way I'm looking at it. Like, that's the way I'm fucking looking at it, Facebook. If I can't get any, at least, you know, inventing products like that would make everyone else's sex lives better, so. Can you sell lube on Etsy? I don't think you can, no. I think that's for, like, home-crafted shite. You want to get good gains, Mark? I'll give you a tip, Mr. Mark Cocelli. You want lots of protein in your diet, and you want to consume massive amounts of protein. And when you get stacked up on calories and protein, use that in your workout regimen. So right before you work out, just pig out on some protein. You know what I'm saying? Turn all that high amount of energy into your workout regimen. And don't push your limit. Know your limit. So like if you can only lift up to a certain point, you know, you don't want to push yourself, because if you do, you could tear your muscles. And if you can't go to the Y or any gym, for that matter, if you can't afford a gym membership or you don't got time to go to the gym, push-ups and sit-ups, people. Straight up. Well, it's not that the live stream is important. It's just that, well, the other one kind of cut abruptly so short that I kind of, you know, yeah. But I'm definitely going to catch you cool cobras on the flip side, Joe. Be heading out here in a bit. Gonna skedaddle out of Seattle. Pack that tobacco down. When I get more pipe tobacco, I can just top it off again. But for the most part, at least I got a can to chew, so I'm not completely out of tobacco. I mean, yesterday I could have bought a pack of smokes instead of less chase for the party that was at yesterday, but I'm like, nah, I'm drinking with some friends of mine, and I had $10, so I'm like, you know what? We'll make this happen.